All right, so the Boogaloo Boys, I got sent this, and it was the Boogaloo Boys doing an interview with somebody who was uh, just at a BLM protest, basically.
Yeah.
And it's called Let's Talk About It Show. They don't have that many subscribers, but they were at a BLM protest, and it's titled Black Lives Matter, says the Boogaloo Boys. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Think about that. So most people have to share this, fam, right? He doesn't have a lot of subscribers, so he's not high up in the algorithm. A lot of people to get notifications, but this video got a lot of views. Why? Because people are starting to see it. The curtain has been pulled out from behind these imperialist assholes, right? If Donald Trump did anything, whether he was part of the whole Kabuki theater or where he was raging against it, we know now that we're getting played. And a lot of us are getting more and more of this information and coming onto the situation saying, you know what, we are getting played over here. So take a look at this video right here. It's very interesting.
We got our shirts and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So what are you guys doing down here? You got guns and stuff? Well, tell me about it. Let's talk about it.
We're here to protect our countrymen. We don't want any violence coming from anybody. We stand for peace and unity. We want everyone to come together and be able to have a peaceful protest and not be flashbanged and not be hit with rubber bullets and not be hit with sticks. And so we're here to protect our fellow countrymen, no matter the color.
No matter the color. What about for you?
Oh, absolutely. I have a duty and responsibility under the Constitution to ensure life, liberty, and property.
Now, is this you saying protect people from who? Rubber bullets? Are you guys talking about the police?
It could be.
Anybody that wants
maybe.
to. Yes, sir. Could be the police. Anybody that wants to bring violence. We will
It could be just somebody from the crowd that wants to beat somebody up with a stick because of their point of view. That's not right, right? And so we would stop that. We would deter that from happening.
So I want to remind you guys about this protest. This protest is about defunding the police, and so that's what this is all about. Today, my question was, why is it important to push the Black Lives Matter movement versus the All Lives Matter?
In my opinion,
okay.
In my opinion, I've had firearms pulled on me by police, but I feel like the black man has it even worse in America. I feel like if there were several black men running around here with ARs, completely legal, breaking no laws, I believe that there would be SWAT teams on their way here. I really feel that because of what I've seen in the country. Now, I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I believe that black people are demonized and they're treated poorly by those who sworn an oath to protect and serve us. In my heart, I feel like if I swear an oath to protect and serve you like I did my children, I told my children I'll protect them. That means that their life is now more important than mine, and I'll give my last breath to protect them. And that's not what our public servants are doing. I believe it's all a money game. They'll do whatever makes them money.
Wow. And for you?
Absolutely. I think it's more of a us versus them kind of thing. I think that absolutely that the African American race here has it more difficult according to police. But obviously I think there is a divide going on that they're trying to divide us into sections and splinter us so we don't see the real enemy, which is a tyrannical government. And the police support tyrannical government at this stage in life. And that's why I'm here. I agree with the Black Lives Matter movement, absolutely. Black lives absolutely matter. All lives absolutely matter. We all, it's really not about race for me personally. It's about me against and the people against a tyrannical government that wants to enslave us.
There it is. And my last question is, we just got to talk about it, our shirts. So tell me what inspired your looks today.
About 9 months ago, a man named Duncan Lemp, he was a white man, he was shot to death in his sleep. And the police, it was by police wrote it up that they served a no-knock warrant to remove his guns because a red flag came up. So they served a no-knock warrant. And they said that they were met with violence and fear for their lives. But everyone in the house claims that Duncan was asleep in his bed and the police shot him through their window. And this is when the Boogaloo Boys, the flowered shirts, were born. That's when we were born, about 9 months ago, when Duncan Lemp was murdered by the police. And those police are still police right now. Just like Anisha, that's not her.
7-year-old Ayanna Jones, asleep on a couch, was hit in the head with a bullet from Officer Joseph Weekly's MP5 submachine gun.
Well, Jeff, it was testimony that was really tough to listen to. This grandmother says Officer Weekly fired instantly the moment he entered that house.
I'm laying there screaming, asking somebody to help my granddaughter because he just shot her in the head. And he wouldn't even help her. They turned on the light and seen that she had been shot and carried out the house. Oh.
7-year-old little girl a few years ago was shot to death by the police. He went to trial. The officer went to trial twice on our dollar. The citizens paid for his defense against our will. They used the money for whatever. He was found not guilty both times. Had to have been a rigged jury because this 7-year-old little girl was murdered. And her killer is still working for the Detroit Police Department today.
The injustice of it all.
My statement is,
Okay.
I love you. I love you, each and every one of you. You're my countrymen and my country ladies. Absolutely. And I would not allow seeing any of you battered, not on my watch. And I'm not even getting paid. But I care about you, and I am my brother's keeper. We need to unite, America. We need to unite.
Under the Constitution, under the Bill of Rights, read the Declaration of Independence. Read your amendments, the first 10 amendments.
Know your rights.
Read the philosophy of the Founding Fathers that gave us this country that we live in.
Thank you guys so much. We talked. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Bring it in.
Okay.
Fam, I think it's a lie. I think the Boogaloo Boys are nefarious, sinister, deep, nuanced guys are evil. Like all these other freaking leftist YouTubers are coming out and saying, and they're really just planning on tricking us, and that once they get the government down, they're going to kill all the black people because that's what all these leftist people are saying right now. That's what it is, right?
I mean, just on the ground things I have seen completely be entirely different. This is why I'm writing an article on this, because this is like, there's so much shit that we don't know, and so many different people I'm communicating with that are giving me information saying, look at this, look at that, and like, no, like this was, and I wanted Jonny to look up that guy.
He got him up there.
Because they a lot of people didn't even know this. When I watched Magnus go on Niko's show, I think it was yesterday, and they were talking about things that we didn't even know about. Like, oh my God, like that the Boogaloo Boys didn't do this, that the Boogaloo Boys had been, you know, that they have denounced people like Kyle Rittenhouse from being a Boogaloo Boy, because the media claims that Kyle Rittenhouse is a Boogaloo Boy. They're saying, no, he's not. Like, none of that. Like, it's just, and he was explaining like what he meant by like defending, like having arms versus like what happened there. You know, I was extremely critical of Kyle Rittenhouse. We have all been on this show. I do not think that kid should have been there at all in any way, shape, or form. His mother, his parents should be in trouble. Oh, he shared that he was there with other adults and they let him alone. By default, those adults should also be prosecuted.
Well, let me say this much. If Kyle Rittenhouse was a Boogaloo Boy, they would have suspended him for his tweets and his actions where he was talking badly about Black Lives Matter. They would have thrown him out of the Boogaloo Boys if he was a Boogaloo Boy. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah.
And
They're saying he wasn't. So I mean that point's moot.
This is so stupid.
So I just wanted to, Jonny, they mentioned this case because a lot of people, I didn't even know about this. A man was killed by a police officer and was asleep when police fired. This sounds very similar to Breonna Taylor. Yep. And this was an attorney that says a Maryland man who was shot and killed by a police officer was asleep in his bedroom when police opened fire from outside his house. And this was just a regular, like a guy, like this is Duncan Lamb. He was a white guy. And you didn't hear about him, right? You didn't hear about him when they actually did that. Well, then they did it to Breonna Taylor. They did it to that little girl. They've done it multiple times through their force. And so these people are saying, holy shit, like this is where we got our idea. This is what we're up against, etc. I'm going to continue showing more videos of people with opposing views or different views talking to each other. What that man, those two men, particularly the one with the hat, was saying was like, America, we need to unite. Like, let's unite together against this government. Like,
there you go.
Now, I'm not a strict constitutionalist. I mean, I think the Constitution is not, it's changed. We've expanded it. There's room for growth. But what I do believe in is the First Amendment. What I do believe in is that we have these rights as American citizens, that we need to remember that we have the right to hold our government accountable when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's in these documents. It's in the Declaration of Independence. This is why I brought it up many times, because in the Declaration of Independence it says if the government is not fulfilling their duties, the people have the right to overthrow that government. It literally says that they use that thinking, and that, of course, that was modeled after the French. Now, what is happening now is people are getting to that point where they're like, well, like, this was in June of last year, so it's been like, 8 months of this happening, and like people were worse off than we were then. So now more than ever, this is why they're doing this, because they're scared of that. They're scared of a black man talking to a white man and hugging. They're scared of these people coming together and saying, hey, yeah, I support BLM. Oh, really? Okay. Why? Oh, police brutality, da, 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 da. And goes on to list very specific examples of what happened to both a little black girl and a white guy that you didn't hear in the media. It's crazy to me that we're figuring this out now, but I think now is a pivotal moment. There is, Mercury was in retrograde. All these things have been happening. Like, it's crazy. People get into Caitlin Johnstone because they're like,
Mercury is forever in retrograde.
It's been in retrograde the last year.
It says left retrograde.